In Hoboken, the Housing Authority Chair is alleging that the Executive Director, Carmelo Garcia, who is also the Assemblyman in Hoboken, engaged in an impropriety by allowing two vendors of the Housing Authority to donate to his Assembly campaign. According to ELEC reports, Nick Haddad, the owner of Haddad Electric in Jersey City, donated $1,000 to Garcia's Assembly campaign on March 11th of this year. On the same date, Hauser Brothers Inc., a contracting service based in Orangeburg, New York, contributed $2,600 to the same political fund. Popular Hoboken blog Hoboken Horse, also known as Mile Square View, first reported on the political contributions. According to Housing Authority bills obtained exclusively by Hudson County TV, Haddad Electric has billed the autonomous agency $118,990.07 since January, while Hauser Brothers has asked the HHA for $170,973.93 in services rendered this year. We spoke with Dana Weaver on the matter, and she had a lot to say. If I recall correctly from the meeting, the Executive Director, Carmelo Garcia, he was arguing that there were some contracts given in a state of emergency due to the Hurricane Sandy, which was about 19 months ago or so. So what do you think about that being a legitimate reason?
Well, the Housing Authority was really affected by Hurricane Sandy, and certainly there were lots of emergency procedures that needed to be done after Hurricane Sandy. However, Hurricane Sandy was, as you said, 19 months ago, and so at this point, I think that when we saw the recurring emergency expenditures every month, we should have at some point realized that this is ongoing and been proactive to make sure that we were getting ahead of it instead of dealing with this on an emergency basis. In addition to that, when you total up everything, we're talking about probably $250,000 that went out in no-bid contracts for emergencies. And the New Jersey procurement law is very clear that this provision of the procurement policy is only supposed to happen in real life or death situations. Otherwise, we should be dealing with this on a proactive basis. We should be going out to bid, and we need to make sure that we're being as competitive as possible. It's particularly concerning because we've now found out that one particular firm, Haddad, which has gotten a ton of money in no-bid contracts, also contributed to the Director's Assembly campaign. Hauser contributed, and the problem with Hauser is that their contract ran out in December. And rather than coming to the board and telling us that the contract was running out and going out to bid, the Director made the unilateral decision to allow the contract to continue on a month-to-month basis. In February of this past year, we paid Hauser $129,000, which is well outside the scope of their contract. And so when you look at, that was done in February, and then there's contributions reported in March, it certainly raises some questions, and there's at least the appearance of impropriety that we really want to get to the bottom of to make sure that everything's being done competitively for the residents.
I know he has a pending lawsuit against the mayor and against the Housing Authority. I know you're an attorney. Do you think that's a legitimate reason to not discuss the matter in public?
No, I find that very concerning. The board is entitled to this information, and it is the Director's responsibility to make the board comfortable about the bills that we're voting on every month. So it should just be presented to us. When we're looking for legitimate information about the bills that we're being asked to vote on, that information should be readily available.
Weaver, who was appointed the chairwoman last week, also said she will have all of her courses necessary for the HHA board completed by the end of the month. Garcia's personal attorney, Louis Zayas, responded and linked to the allegations over the phone on Saturday. Nothing Mr. Garcia did was unauthorized or illegal. The no-bid contracts were authorized and approved way before he ran for office or announced his candidacy. The notion that a vendor with a contract did something wrong by engaging in the political process of contributing to the campaign of a candidate he believes in is part of the democratic process. If the chairwoman has a problem with democracy, she should move to Russia. We would welcome any investigation into this matter. If she believes he did something wrong, she should report it to the authorities. He also called Weaver an obvious Mayor Zimmer mouthpiece, whose comments were slanderous and ironic, since the reason this is happening is because Mr. Garcia refuses to play politics by awarding political contracts to Mayor Zimmer's supporters. I'm John Heides, Hudson County TV, Hoboken.